Hello there, I am back with another video. Now we're in the key of C, but I'm going to put this in the advanced beginner section because it's a little bit challenging in the fact that it's using only the it's using the two. So it's got a D minor, which we worked on in You Ain't Going Nowhere, which is a great song. I highly recommend that you learn. People end up loving that, a Bob Dylan song. So it's got the C, the D minor, and the F, so the 1, the 2, the 4, and then the G, the 5. So C, D, not E, F, and G. So in terms of the fact that in a learning opportunity, what you're doing in this song, which is Love Is All Around, great song. I think it's in the movie Love Actually. And it's moving through the chord pattern 2 beats per chord. Now, it's very repetitive in terms of that, so what I recommend people do is, aside from the intro, which we'll go through, and they're showing 2 slashes between, or 2 chords between the upright slashes like that, so that's in the way of indicating that we're doing 2 beats there. So the progression in the song itself, until you get to the chorus, which goes to the 4 chord, and that's slightly different than some of the beginner songs where you're staying on the same pattern of chords. So this is presenting some new challenges, but not so much that it's off-putting, hopefully, and nice and slow learning tempo. So let's play through the intro and get a feel for those 2 beats. Nice and slow. First we'll do our warm-up and our reviewing of our sitting. So we've got the arm coming across the back end, and we're gripping, remember, with about this much of the forearm. If you've got the soprano, you're here gripping, and then the wrist is loose, and we're playing over the area where the neck and the body overlap. Now, if you've got a soprano and there's just a little bit of overlap, that's fine. Just do your best there. And so your arm is loose from about here, and you just sit for a minute and focus on that loose wrist, right? And remember to use the verbal cues that I do. If you feel those help you, make sure to use them on yourself in your own head. Left hand, so we've definitely established our 4 strings, the 3 numbers that we use. Strings are numbered from the floor, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Fingers are numbered, unlike the piano where this would be finger 1. This thumb is sitting back supporting. Fingers 1, 2, 3, and 4 are like that. And then the frets, depending on the size of the neck, 1, 2, 3, 4, and etc. going, this is called going up. So this would be down. That can be a bit confusing. So good hand form, we're positioning that thumbs up, flat against the back of the neck. Extend, remember to sit for a moment in that good position with the full extension of the fingers, and then form them in this area where all the action is at this point, right here. Okay, so we're going to form an F chord so that you can see that continuity of the thumb and fingers learning to work together. We're not resting the neck on here, on the palm, right? And so we want to make sure that when we move through the chords, there's always at least 1 finger on one of the notes of the chord that's next in the pattern. So that being said, we're going to go through the intro 2 beats. So you've got that 1 finger on the C chord there. You release the wrist. We're going to start to strum, but only after we do our vocal warm-up, our very brief vocal warm-up, which I encourage you to do more of to train your musical ear. Your instrument is in tune. So we're C, La, a nice moderate tone for most people. And then we're going to be ascending in pitch in those other open strings. No fretting, meaning open. La. Let's go back and forth between La, C, and E, La, engaging your ears in that whole process. La, 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 la. Ascending again, which makes the ukulele a little bit unusual in the higher string being up here, called re-entrant tuning. La, we're entering the pitches twice. You know, we're not ascending right from here and going upward. If we have a low G, then that's a different story. And then the A, quite high. La. I don't think I sang the G. La. So you could do a bunch of la, la. So C, E, G, E, C. So C, E, G, E, C. and do a bunch of those. Now we've been working on a C scale a little bit, so remember C, open. Music theory portion of your class now is going to be that second fret. You're pressing down, that's a D note. La, you can sing that if you want. Now E is also at the 4th fret here, in addition to it being the open string. So you can do that. It's called relative tuning. So those should sound the same, E. And then you could go all the way up here, of course, and do your C major scale on the C string. But let's just keep going with what we've been learning. I'm going to post a C major scale fairly soon, just so that you have that. We always want to do a bit of scales. So C, D, we're going to do the open E. 1st fret is an F note, as we mentioned, part of the F chord. Now we're going to miss the next one. That would be an F sharp, also known as a G flat. And the 3rd fret with the 3rd finger is a G. So that's going to sound the same as your high G up top. Then we could go up here, that would be A, but we're going to do our open A. La, we've already sang that. And then the 2nd fret is a B natural, and then our good old friend C. So you can just go through that if you want. You can find a C major scale online if you're keen. All right, so back to our strumming here in our song, Love Is All Around. You'll find that in the description box. 2 beats of C. Then we just go to F, so make sure you've got one of those fingers in place. 2 of those, and again, we're working that ring finger to get it to be part of everything to do a G. And then you're going back to the F, so twisting and then release. Then I'm putting my C on. Then one of the F notes on. Then I've got a G again. All right, so the pattern of the chords, here we go. 1, remember you can la, 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 D minor next, la, la, release the ring, F, la, 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 C and D minor, F, G, well, love is all around me, and so the feeling, C to D minor, F to the G, it's written on the wind, same chords, it's everywhere I go, D minor, 2 beats, so that's more challenging. So if you really love me, F, come on and let it, C to D minor, F to the G. Then we're going to do a whole bar of F here with that down arrow. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and as I've said in other videos, I wouldn't encourage you to go too much farther right now. I would return to the beginning and I would do either the intro, but I'm just going to do the chord progression again with the words. But this time I'm just going to go very, very slow, almost like beginners, right? Because we have moved up in terms of our chord changes, and that can present some challenges, and we want to feel encouraged as we go. So remember, get your shapes and your plan of how you're going to get those. So that D minor, I always tell people it's F with a twist. So it's got the 2 notes of the F chord, ring finger coming onto the C string and tucking right under. Notice that I move my hand up to the headstock to allow a little bit more room than trying to keep them straight like that. Some people would use the 2nd finger to do 2 notes at once, which you can do if you'd like to try and get that joint to go a bit flatter on those 2 notes. And you can just see how it sounds. It doesn't have to be perfect, of course, because we're still learning. So we've got C, then D minor, then you release that finger, you got an F, and then you get a moment to bring it down to the C, and then let the other ones go. So or did I do the G? No, so let's do it again. Sorry, C, now D minor, now F, then we've got the ring finger going pop, pop down to the point of the G, and then this guy comes all the way from the top to the bottom to the G shape, and then you're back to C. D minor, so F with a twist, release one of the fingers, that's your little break. Now move that down to the G, taking your top finger all the way to the bottom and then moving that one over. Well, love is all around me, and lift and place the G and C to D minor, and lift and place that point on the brow. C and D minor, and lift. And one of the exercises that you can do to work that ring finger is pause right there when you're making that switch to G, and just very deliberately walk that finger down to the second string, 3rd fret, place it on there, and then do your switch around, just as part of your efficient practicing. So you want to get smoother. Okay, so Written on the Wind, 2nd verse there. Written on the wind, it's everywhere I go. C and D minor, F and G. So if you really love me, come on and let it. C, D minor, F and G, and F, 2. Now let's do the chorus. So you stay on an F, and these are at least 4 beats. So now I love you. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The way that I feel. No beginning, there'll be no end. 'Cause on my love you can depend. And then a whole note. 1, 2, 3, 4. I see your face before me as I lay on my bed. I kinda get to thinking of all the things you see. To D minor, F to the G. You gave your promise to me, and I give mine to you. To D. So you notice that pattern over and over. So just say it. D minor and G. Don't worry about the words, you'll get those. And then a bar of F to chorus, stay on 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. My mind's made up by the way that I feel. No beginning, there'll be no end. 'Cause on 2, 3, 4, you can depend. And a whole note. 1, 2, same pattern. It's written on the wind, it's everywhere I see. To D minor, F to the G. So if you really love me, come on and let it. C and D minor, come on and let it. C and D minor, F to the G. C to D minor, F to the G, and C. So you will notice there's a method to what I'm doing, is that I get the songs and I start to show you that they're very repetitive, and that gives you a lot of opportunity to just do the chord over and over and over again, and then eventually you'll be able to add in the vocals and all the other things. So there's a little mute strum that we can start to learn as we go. Fingers, I feel it in my down, mute and down and mute, and F to the G. Our love is all around me, and so the feeling grows. So all I'm doing when I'm doing that mute, if you want to start learning how to do that, is I'm just doing a down, and then, so I'm doing up, and then on that, I think I've done a little bit of the muting instruction, so it's just down. And so when I do the mute, I'm doing a down up on beat 1, down up, open, and then I do the mute on, it would have it indicated by an X or a Z. You come across the strings, and then when you first start, you just, and then you turn your hand so that the more fleshy part of your thumb, but you have to let your finger come across the strings first, so you're fairly close to the strings. You look down, come across, and then turn your hand only when the finger gets to the bottom of the string, and then you cut it off, because we like that sound where it goes brup, so it's a percussive. So it's 1, down, up, and then I'm going to do the mute here. So I'm going to come across and silence, and then up. It doesn't have to be perfect, of course. Down, up, mute, up. So 3 and 4 are the same as 1 and 2. So if you learn 1 and 2, just keep saying 1, 2 over and over. So it's down, up, mute, up, 1 and 2, and down, up, mute, up. But that's something you can add to your repertoire of skills as you go along. But I just wanted to dip our toe into the idea of that. It's quite a fun thing, and it's emphasizing those 2 and 4 beats. So it's giving a little bit more depth in terms of the rhythm. So you want to feel that rhythm and really start to get that body moving, you know, put the music on to get dancing and feeling the beat. So that will add to your musicality as you play more. Okay, so if you've enjoyed that, we would ask that you give it a like and share, subscribe, leave me a comment, and we'll keep going and building our skills and having a lot of fun. Hopefully you're doing that and enjoying your playing as you go along. All right, I'll see you next time.